I guess I should be trying to predict the hands here, because I'm trying to get sponsorships and endorsements, and donations. My PayPal email address is in the title of the video, but it's christianerikarnemeyer@gmail.com. So does he have the ace? He didn't raise, so he could be on a draw. I think this guy might have the winner. I would have folded to that guy. Oh, he had kings. So it's kind of half right. If your new suited connectors they usually disappoint you. They're good hands if there's lots of people in there, but in situations like this, you're kind of paralyzed. So you got to proceed with caution. It's feeling like you might have the queen, but I'm gonna call. He could have ace king, ace jack. So I'm going to check it down. I think I have the winner. I might regret not betting though. King Jack. So now I know how that guy plays open-ended straight draws. So ideally, like just say you're at the casino, you pick up his tendency, how he plays, and then in the future, you're able to use that information against him. Like if you see the guy every day, you're going to use him more frequently, but if you see him infrequently, but you got to try to build a catalog against these opponents, so you know how they play different scenarios, and to give you a better read on them. It's great when you're in a tournament because unless you move the table or they move the table, they're kind of cornered. They can't escape you basically. So you're able to pick them apart as the tournament progresses, capitalizing on their mistakes, trying to make as few mistakes as you possibly can yourself. So I just need to leave here because I'm in a couple one tournament, and I'm about to rejoin. There's a $30 tournament I want to play in later on, so I'm gonna rejoin it now that I built up a little, made $5 basically, so I could play in the $30 tournament. Oh, $6. It's pennies basically though. Even $30 is nothing. With fair odds, no cheating, and for my competitors or from the casino, with $10,000, I think I could turn it into at least $100,000 in a month. That's risking $1,000 at a time. I could probably do it in several hours with risking $10,000 at once. Quite simply, sometimes you within 10 minutes you're 5x your whatever you started with. So there's days that I've turned $1 into less than 24 hours anyways. I turned $1 into $252. So I made it, that's 250x in 24 hours. Granted, there's probably, maybe in Vegas and Macau, there's juicy enough games where you could play, but in the town where I am, the casino is pretty small, and people use technology against me there. I've yet to get into a rhythm playing poker at the casino. And I think I lost every single time I got big slick ace king when I played at the casino. Every single time. So let's see if I can get this as high as possible. Yeah, with $10,000 you could easily, granted it's probably 9-handed, so it's not as easy as 6-handed. I like playing 6-handed because the World Poker Tour final table 6-handed. and I want to win a couple World Poker Tours. So I spent years practicing 6 players, so I'm more familiar. So I played it every scenario, when I'm leading, when I have lots of chips, when I'm playing from behind. The only thing is there's no blinds when you play cash. So I do try to play in 6-player tournaments. Okay, I don't believe the first guy was going to raise, but the second guy might have it, and I have no draw. Let's see what he bets the first guy. I might change my mind depending on his bet. 240, so he might have it. It seemed like he was trying to extract as much. If you're new to poker, there's times when people bet they're trying to extract as much as possible. And then there's times where they're trying to bet to make you fold. So it's being able to figure out, is he or she trying to make me fold? Or do they want me to call? Or are they hoping I raise? Because that's the other scenario. Sometimes you bet a certain amount hoping to get raised. Oh, yeah. He called. Well, this is pretty much an untenable position here because I can't really call. It would be foolish to call. Hopefully he shows a bluff. He had the winning hand. Chances are he had a 3 high beat. But if you're new in poker, you gotta make strong plays occasionally. You gotta win when you're down on the score sheet. You gotta pull the knockout out. And in poker, that's bluffing. That's making a bluff so they fold. Making it so they don't call. But most of the time when you bluff, like say 80-90% of the time when you do that move, make sure you have it. So they're always trying to guess that 1 in 10 time that you're not telling the truth. And keep it random. In your home game, like don't always do the same move all the time, because if I used to stop getting invited to home games pretty quick, and this was at the novice level. I think I won every single home game I played, or finished in the money anyways. Came first out of 8,000 before in a tournament, so I understand the psychology of I forget how many millions of chips were involved, but so I understand the big pot psychology of how to win a big tournament, because I've done it. I just haven't did it for millions of dollars when there's millions of dollars on the line. So that's it's doing it under that spotlight it would be the test, but the psychology of it, I've already done it. I've already accomplished it. I have those tools in my toolbox. I've came first out of 1,500. Recently, I came 5th out of 1,467. In play money tournament, mind you, because where I live, the real money tournaments don't get that big, unfortunately. So you can't win many, like thousands of dollars off a $30 tournament. You might win hundreds of dollars, but if we had a bigger prize pool, And on a day that you're hot, the day that you win, you could win, say, $10,000. If you're competing against the world, you could easily win $10,000 on a good day and consistently win hundreds of dollars on bad days. Because you'd be playing against more people. So the more people you are, the weaker the competition is. It doesn't matter. You could have 100 pros in a tournament, like the top 100 players in the world, but the bottom 10% are seen as weak compared to the top 10%. They see them as easy prey. They pick them apart consistently. But that doesn't mean the beauty about poker is the guy that's number 100, for instance, he could have the guy that's number 2 or even the number 1 guy, he could have that guy's number head to head. But he just can't consistently outperform his peers at that level. But heads up, he might completely dominate the guy or girl. She might completely dominate him. Heads up. But they just can't do it throughout their peers and over the marathon. But the number 1 player is more likely to pick up on tendencies and evolve their game to counteract it. So the more experience, like at first the number 100 guy might dominate the number 1 guy, but over the long run, the number 1 guy should the cream would still rise to the top with more experience. Sometimes it wouldn't. The guy might just, if he picks his spot, if you have somebody's tell on them, if you have their tell, you can't exploit it 100% of the time, because then they're going to catch you eventually. Even fish get nervous of a hook. They get suspicious if you always do the same thing to them. Well, this isn't good, because I'm likely to call and likely to miss. I'm calling if he jams. So this was a double luck hand where I made a straight and a flush, and there's a possibility I lose to a full house. So those hands are okay, but it kind of sucks when you make a straight and a flush in the same hand. So you wasted a little bit of luck on your straight, getting your straights, and you wasted a little bit of luck getting your flush, is how I look at it. But at least I made a hand versus a good hand, like he had trips at least, and I doubled up through him. It sucks when you get a big hand and you play it perfectly and you don't double up or triple up. But I'm unlikely to hit it, so I'm going to fold. And there's a guy to react after me, even though I didn't believe him right now. Let's see if he freezes up. He freezes up, so he could have the queen. Sixes. Nice hand. It was a nice hand, but he tried trapping, but he kind of misplayed that hand. He could have possibly extracted more chips if you're new to poker, and when you make a set, especially a low set, you want to try to maximize it. Because let's see what it was. Like, that jack should make you freeze if you have a set, because now there's a potential straight. So on the flop, you want to try to get as many chips in possible on the flop when you're likely to be the favorite. You don't want them to hit the king, the jack, the 10. You don't want to see a card like that where they're likely to hit a straight. You want somebody with ace king to make call for all their chips on the flop, ideally, if you could engineer that situation. But you can't always do it because then you become predictable. So you have to pick your spots. He tried trapping, so next time maybe he shouldn't try that exact same strategy. I tried trapping with a royal flush. I misplayed a royal flush. There was like $2. It was at a penny table, and it was $2 on the flop, and that's all I basically won. Made the flush on the turn with a royal flush redraw. I tried trapping. It didn't work, and I tried trapping again on the river. He didn't bite. And so I won $2. I've had 4 royal flushes, and other times I've at least doubled up or tripled up. But I dropped the ball for a royal flush. So if you get a royal flush, I suggest you never trap. Never trap it. This opportunity comes around so infrequently. You want to try to get all your chips in. I'd rather have a royal flush and not get called and nobody's seen that I get my royal flush than miss out on the opportunity of not doubling or tripling up since I misplayed it. So learn from my experience. The most interesting hand I've been in has been a straight flush with an ace high flush and a king high flush, all in the same pot. I forget if I had the straight flush or the ace high flush, but it wasn't worth enough money to remember. If it was worth thousands or millions of dollars, I'd remember every second of the hand. If it was real money, it was a trivial amount of money, maybe under $100 or whatever it would be. Okay, let's pump up the volume here. I was gonna check, but I figured I had no chance if I checked, so I wanted to take a stab at it. see. Hopefully I could sneak in here. I'm hoping your raise is perfect. He had the king. I was hoping to get the king to fold, but I had the possibility to hit the 7, so I went with it. Because usually when somebody makes that play, they have the straight. It's suspicious. If somebody makes that play on you, unless they're bluffing, like I did that time, they usually waiting for the raise. The little small bet for the raise to pounce on it and go in. I just got lucky that time. But normally they have it, in my experience anyways. But hopefully I got in that guy's head a bit. And they start making mistakes. Because it's always frustrating when you lose. Like, he would have seen that as a bad beat. Sometimes they do have the draw, like the straight draw. But, probably more so now that I'm seeing this in this video. But in the past, that was a pretty solid read. If they make that move. Everything you watch in these videos is going to work a certain percentage of the time, but then if it's a new strategy, then it's going to work less frequently because more people are using it, so more people are defending against it, and then it becomes less successful. So all you could do in that scenario is the majority of the time do whatever. If you're bluffing, I guess would be bluffed that way the majority of the time. Not all the time. But if you're trapping to it, majority of the time, not all the time. If it's successful, if it's unsuccessful technique, use it less frequently. You got to use your hindsight, like how well you played over in your past lifetime, ideally, but also within your recent past. Because if you're new to poker, you're going to be gaining experience so quick that you might be like, oh, okay, how have I been playing the last month, the last 2 months, last 6 months, last year? And then try to evolve daily, because it takes minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master, because you know, there's math, but there's the psychological component to poker. The guy could be pretending he's weak, the classic pretending he's weak when he's strong, or pretending he's strong when he's weak, he or she. So that's classic. So you could use that technique the majority of the time, and then sometimes it's not going to work against people. So the trick to poker is figuring out who it works on and who it doesn't work on. That's the whole key to poker. Because you might have a successful move, it works on everybody but a certain type of player. So it doesn't mean you can't use that move. You just need to isolate that type of player and then go from there. But it's getting pretty hard nowadays. Like, I posted a lot of videos. You can watch all my videos. I win a lot of hands that I shouldn't be winning. And I very rarely meet my match. Watch any of my videos. Very rarely Is there an opponent that I face that consistently gets the better of me, say 3 or 4 times? They might outplay me one, 2 times, but very rarely in a session. I would say almost 90% of the time anyways, that if there was a person that was outplaying me, they're not the player that busts me. Guaranteed. Unless we were playing heads up. And I don't play heads up in my video. In heads up, you could easily meet your match if somebody, people are very perceptive. Some people, when they see you, they see your shoes, they see your socks, they see what your pants, your shirt, your hairstyle, notice your cologne. They see it all. Other people, they just see your face. For me, if you're a guy, I just see your face. Unless I see a new style of clothing that I think I could pull off. And if you're a woman, I see your body if you're attractive. Unless I'm related to you. So how much time left until the $5 tournament? $30 minutes. Let's see what happens. I think I got it. I could be wrong, but I think I got the winner. Hopefully he calls. Maybe not. Nice bet. I want to call, but really there's a potential 4 of a kind, full house, flush. So I will fold. Hopefully he shows the bluff. Really, I had the worst pair on the board. But I did want to call. If I was up in the profit about $20, I would have made that call easily. Just to see what he had. Just to peek behind the curtain. They call it an information call. So ideally you don't do information calls at the cash table because they could pick up and leave. But sometimes, especially if you play them frequently, then employ the information call tactic. But in tournaments, it's a successful strategy because you could use that information against them later on in the tournament, potentially to bust them. You want it to always culminate into a decisive victory for yourself. That's my goal. Okay, I'm pretty suspicious of how weak this bet is, so I'm gonna just pump it up a bit. I'm gonna show the bluff. Hopefully, ideally, you get a good hand. This is a decent hand, but I'm more likely to get a call now, so I could hopefully engineer a situation where I get paid off. Because they're more likely to try bluffing against me. When somebody bluffs against you, you want to bluff against them. You want to pay them back. That's part of the psychology of poker. He's probably going to raise. No. I'm impartial to my bluffing. Like, if somebody bluffs me, I don't go out of my way to try to bluff them back. But doesn't mean I don't plan on bluffing against them in the future. I just either wait for the situation to arise. Sometimes I create the situation, but it's best when it's natural and flowing. And, but I'm trying to engineer a situation right now by calling a raise with 6-3, right? I'm not thinking about now. I'm thinking about future streets, how I could outplay him. But I'm hoping to get lucky in the meantime. If he has the king, he's likely to freeze with the ace. Okay, it's unlikely that they hit this flop. Doesn't mean they don't have the best hand, though. So I didn't get lucky, so I pretty much have to go for it if I want to. See, I see $1 in there, so I'm going to try to get $1. It's a decent bluff, you might call, with ace-king, or ace-high, but a decent bluff. Any 6, potential flush. I have to bluff when I have poor hands because I usually don't get paid off when I have big hands like ace-king. It's a common theme for all my videos. All you have to do is watch any of my videos. On this site, any site. This Play Money website, people secretly can see my cards using nanotechnology and computer-assisted telepathy possible. We're made up of water. Water conducts electricity, so therefore you can be hacked. You should know this if you've ever been shocked. We conduct electricity. And they just hacked my brain. I was on a tangent there, and the electronic violators didn't want me to express that thought. But the good thing about me is I usually remember. Oh, look at this. So this is a new opponent to my right. That was pretty ideal. So what was it? So I mentioned how I usually lose with ace-king. All my videos, the nanotechnology eye cameras, computer-assisted telepathy. And right now I'm drawing a blank on it was how they violate my eyes and see what I see. Because people play people like they do in Grand Theft Auto, the video game. It's with real lives. They play people like a video game. They treat them just as terrible as some people treat people in that video game. They're human parasites. There was actually a book written by Stephanie Meyer. My last name's Meyer, M-E-Y-E-R. And her last name is Meyer, M-E-Y-E-R. And it's called The Host. And I believe that that book was secretly written for me, as these people are able to leech off my attributes, make me weaker, not as strong, not as fast, not as smart. They could hack my brain. All because I was born with this evolutionary gene. I'll show a couple of videos probably at the end of it where show you a video where I'm doing math while I'm simultaneously having a conversation, kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm talking while I'm playing poker, doing math, but actually doing math. And then I could show you another video where I throw a football about 35 yards and hit the crossbar as I intended. In the same video I show, my son shows how he, from about the same distance, 30-something yards away, hit the crossbar with a soccer ball. He would be the best soccer player on the planet. But these people violate us and secretly use our attributes and deny us of our greatness. My grandfather was offered a professional baseball scholarship, so there were times where my family was offered stuff, but he turned down the baseball opportunity because this was in the 40s when baseball players weren't making millions of dollars. So he didn't figure he would have enough money to support a house in, I believe it was Cincinnati, in Toronto at the same time. So I'm glad he didn't, because I wouldn't be born. But he was a great man. He fought in World War II. The position, he was a mortar guy, and his position, only 7% of the people survived his position. That did that job. And he got shot. Had my dad. My dad had a professional hockey tryout, and in his teenage years, and he got drunk and went partying and missed his opportunity. I was offered to play against my first year playing baseball. The first time I played hardball, was offered a position on the rep team at 15. The very first time I played hardball, playing somebody that pitched against me that was 15 years old. The very first time somebody threw pitches at me was for the rep team tryout, and I made the rep team tryout, but I needed $2,000 and my parents couldn't afford it, so I went home and said, Dad, sign me up for House League, which was $60. And then I got called up multiple times to play against 21-year-olds. And this is my first time ever playing. I didn't play T-ball. I didn't play all the way up. My first time playing baseball. And I didn't realize at the time, the opportunity that I had, that was the path to become a professional athlete. So I missed the opportunity where I almost certainly would have been able to get scholarships for college, and would have developed as a player. But I missed that opportunity. So I like competition, and poker facilitates the competitive streak in me. Because it doesn't matter how good I get. I could be the best player in the world, the best player that ever lived. I'm still going to get unlucky at times, and I'm still going to get outplayed at times. If you're the best player that played, or the best player that ever played, you still get outplayed, but just not over the long run. So I'm gonna just show you those videos now. If I win this after this hand anyways. So I was down to $2 and I climbed up to almost 15, so that's not bad. So I'm just gonna pause it for a second. So this is my other YouTube account, where my theory about different technology that's being around. So I'm gonna just go to the videos here. Where are the videos? Oh, this is a song I wrote. You look like summer in those jeans. If you could only see what I see. You look perfect to me. Every night getting you scuffing those sheets with me. You look like summer. You feel like summer every time we meet. Making every paycheck ends me. Got me loving you in those jeans. Summertime every time we meet. I got hacked several times. You can watch the video. I don't sound like that in the video. But when I kind of was reading it off right now, I got hacked several times. Because I'm going to show you a video of how I'm able to do math and speak at the same time. So, as if I can't read. Okay, where the heck is it? No, that's not it. Okay, so here's the quantum computing.
See who I am. But I'm going to write down any two numbers and simultaneously talk while I'm doing some math. And the numbers are going to be 78 times 48. So 78 times 48. So being able to think about my brain being the influence for quantum computing is very simple, because I'm able to do this because I have that genetic advantage that other people don't have. So very simply, I was able to come up with 3,744. Let's see if I'm right. I got another phone here. But my brain was the influence for quantum computing. So who's able to talk and do math at the same time with random numbers? Only the person with this evolutionary gene. And the fact that the government did work out to be, I turned out I was correct. The fact that the government of Canada.
So that was the quantum computer. But here's
some of that evolutionary talent. Here's me going bar down with the football.
That was back from 35 years ago.
And my son.
He's 14. Look how small he looks like.
Here's some of that evolutionary talent. Here's me go.
So I had a job and it said worst evolution. It was a shipping and receiving job, and there was all these suspicious names all the time that were familiar to me, and it was too much of a coincidence. So all of a sudden one of them was worst evolution, and so I got my DNA tested, and my mom was born in the States on a trip, but she's Danish, and my dad was born in England but became a Canadian citizen. And I'm born in Canada. So when I got my DNA tested, I expected to see Denmark, United Kingdom, and German. I heard I had German ancestry. So when I got my DNA tested and seen every single color here except for the white territory, I have descendants from. I'm a descendant of. So I have this evolutionary gene. So I'm able to claim any throne where it's blue or teal. Anywhere there's blue or teal, I have the strongest genetic links to the throne. Because I have the oldest DNA on the planet, plus the newest on the planet. So every king, every emperor, every sultan, every emir on the planet, its claim to the throne is to have the oldest DNA on the planet, and I unequivocally have it. Because it doesn't matter, they could be the sitting kings right now, the current kings, but their ancestry, I have the ancestry that they value the most, I have the strongest link to. The further you go back into history, I have a stronger link to those ancestors that gave current monarchies their current claim to the throne. The more distant ancestry, I have the strongest link. And Victoria's Secret is a famous brand because I believe she had kids with Colin Campbell, who's a field marshal at the time. And I also believe that Captain James Cook, the guy that discovered Australia, that's possibly where I get my ancestry from. I believe he had kings or kids with Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz, who I believe was an American socialite at the time, and many other notable descendants. Captain James Cook, he traveled the world, so there's notable descendants from a lot of ethnicities, because he had kids pretty much unofficially wherever he went, basically. Is my theory. So this is some of the restrictive technology they use on me. If you could see how small this vein is here, and it controls your heart, basically, and since I'm male, my penis. But I'll show you. This is what it normally looks like. So they use nanotechnology to restrict and constrict my veins, so these parasites could leech off me. And at one point, they hacked my penis, and it made it a fully erect penis, half the size of my normal proportions, half the size. I went to the doctor and asked them about it, and they're like, "Oh, there's no such thing. I should have took a picture." So I'm kind of hoping that they use this technology against me in the future, so I could get a before and after picture, so I would have unequivocal proof. If you Google computer-assisted telepathy YouTube and watch this video, basically people are able to influence yes-no decisions remotely using computers and technology. You can find aspects of that video on this petition. So go to www.change.org/technology, read the petition, watch the videos, make an informed decision. If you agree, sign it, share it on social media, contribute a few bucks to get it on the agenda in your country so you could help catch pedophiles. And once the government does acknowledge the system, a civilian and military oversight committee could be set up to keep Big Brother in check. So my theory is partially based on this patent. And if you see this as a human silhouette and the different biosensors that could be implanted in the body. So you could have eye cameras. There's hearing, so you could hear what they're hearing. Hear what the brainwaves are doing, so you could hear the thoughts. And find out what their heart's doing, the blood pressure, toxins, glucose, and it could all be viewed and controlled over a cell phone. And if you look at this cell phone, it's an older patent. So nowadays it's nanotechnology. It's absorbed through your skin. We breathe it in, we eat it, we drink it. You could see it. Nanotechnology, looking at your phone or looking at lights could upload technology. So always try to, now that you're aware of this, always try to consciously think to yourself, with my mind, I'm gonna kill my electronic rapist. With your mind, not with your body, with your mind. Because now that you're exposed to this technology, you have a choice to stand up for good, because you could deny reality, but you can't deny the consequences of that reality. So the only way you can make a difference and protect yourself is to sign the petition, share it on social media, help it go viral, and contribute a few bucks to make the government acknowledge the system. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day.